All right. How you doing, bro? I always want to say you guys because I'm talking to like 15 subscribers currently, but really it's just one person who's watching this video. You know what I mean? Anyways, what's up? What is up? It is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. Crazy, man. Wow, we're almost halfway through 2026. That's insane. That's actually crazy. I keep having this feeling recently. I'm sure we all do, especially after COVID, but of time speeding up. But it really feels like, okay, I'm currently 30, and the way that the months are moving now, I project that at 50, the years will feel like weeks, or months. Like, they just go by like that. And me realizing this and tuning into this has actually been very helpful for me to conceptualize sacrifice and giving up short-term pleasure for long-term fulfillment. And the way I start to conceptualize my goals now, when I was in my 20s, it was, okay, like, what do I want to do? Like, right now, like, how would this feel? Like, what steps do I have to take to get there as soon as possible? But now it's more so like, okay, I see the momentum that I have, and I don't have momentum in all areas. I guess to some degree I do in different levels, but I see how these things are connected, and that what I'm doing now, my life now is a result of my thoughts and actions from years prior. So really, you just go, okay, so like, where do I want to be at 35, at 40? And then you just start to reverse engineer those things and then just start to do those now. And eventually, things work backward, things work forward, and you meet in the middle, and there's your life. It's magic. But so now, it's very easy for me to plan. When I was in my 20s, I was like, oh my God, like a 4-year degree, that is insane. And I could never even think of something like a 5 or 6 year PhD or something. Like, that's outrageous. Now I'm like, if I do that, I finish that, and it's something that I want to do, and it's going to sustain me and my family, and it takes me 6 years, I'll be 36. And I have, this excellent income working in a job that I actually want to do and I get fulfillment from. I mean, that's a no-brainer, Obviously, there's lots of variables, obligations, and what's the word I'm looking for? Constraints. But, you have to manage those. That's just logistics. That's what I'm learning, is that if you want something to happen, well, there's going to be a price that you have to pay to make it happen. And it's just, how bad do you want the thing? It's that simple. Because if you want it bad enough, you will pay the price and you'll deal with the consequences, because the thing is worth it for you to not have the thing that you're giving up. And I guess that well, not really. I'm in my car. All right. I'm trying to figure out my life. I mean, I'm always trying to figure out my life. I feel like I'm always in deep existential crisis. I at least now have my direction picked out. I know what I'm aiming at and where I'm going. It's pretty far out yet, but at least I have an idea of, okay, this is where I'm headed. I was just so lost before that I was just doing what felt good, basically. And I'd keep getting myself into trouble. But once you have something to aim at, well, now you just got to show up and do the work. And that's kind of the shitty part, the shitty realization, that's happening now, is like, I can't what's the word? Lie to myself. I can't paint this picture of how wonderful and whimsical, my future's going to be anymore, because I just can't lie to myself. I see right through it now. I have to take this, uncertain, perhaps high probability action that I'm like, well, this should pay off. It's not guaranteed, but there are no guarantees. Death and taxes, I guess, are the only two, or the two big ones rather, in life. But I'm posted right on the strip here, so hopefully the audio isn't too bad. But anyways, I'm reading a book. It's called Creative Aggression: The Art of Assertive Living by Dr. George Bach, and or Batch. No, I'm just kidding. It's Bach. And Dr. Herb Goldberg. And this is how far I'm in. This is how far I'm into the book. All right, page 9. But this is a keeper. I can already tell, because I am definitely nice guy. Came from a nice background, and I think something happened when I was 13. I was meant to be, I don't know if I was meant to be or whatever. I was on pace to be a big nerd. Like, loved World of Warcraft. When I was 13, had very minimal friends, and I did like soccer and swimming at the time. So I guess I did like to be athletic or active or whatever, but I moved and I was forced into kind of living a different lifestyle, and I'm glad with how I turned out overall. But a lot of my early programming was a lot of people pleasing. I feel like I had wronged certain people, and so I had to pay them back with obedience, or overextending what I thought would be respect, or honoring them or whatever. And really what happens is just people just walk all over you, because as a nice, quote unquote, nice person, a people pleasing person, you just attract narcissists and controlling, manipulative, aggressive people. And you get into these cycles. So what this book is talking about is, at the very start of it anyways, is it's breaking down the different people in our lives who are nice. The nice mommy, the nice daddy, the nice children, the nice boss, etc. It describes them, the personality underneath the person, the reward that they're getting for that behavior, what it's doing for them internally that is fulfilling them, and then the price that they're actually paying. And he talks about the price of being nice. And I guess I kind of got recommended this book by Dr. Robert Moore, who does, there's a seagull right next to me. Again, these seagulls, these birds, I don't know what it is. Anyway, shut up. Anyways, and my phone's going off. Next thing, I got to get into the habit of going on rest mode or focus mode. I can't do that right now because it's going to stop the video. Brutal, my ADHD, I say ADHD completely undiagnosed. It's just, shut up. He's like, give me food. Give me what you got, man. Whatever you got. You got a granola bar. You got a fry in a McDonald's bag. I want to eat it. But I got nothing for you, pal. Dr. Robert Moore is a Jungian psychologist. So his primary area of study is Jung's work, and he dives heavily into the archetypes. And basically, he had a lecture where he talked about he talked about the modern state of men and boys, and how, and Robert Bly talks about this as well, but we lack the systems, be it initiatory and camaraderie systems that help develop boys into men. And he recommends some activities, some readings, some things to do to help catch up or accelerate on that transition or that development. And this is one of the books that he recommended. He recommends young boys and young men to invest in assertiveness training, because he says that's what's missing. Because we had a bunch of single mothers raise us who were very controlling and manipulative, and we were taught to please them and to please women and to please society, to sit down and to shut up and blah blah blah. So what this book and others are kind of talking about is being able to effectively manage your emotions, not suppress them. I'm gonna find this is funny, speaking about anger. I'm gonna 3D print a weapon and I'm gonna shoot you in the face, Seagull. God, this thing won't shut up. Oh man. He sees me looking at him too. He's getting excited. Oh man. I used to think that if anybody, man or woman, had an emotional outburst, I took them very seriously. Like, if they said words, what they were gonna do, I'm gonna blah blah blah, I used to think, oh my gosh, like, this person's actually, there's a switch being flipped in their mind and they're gonna commit these acts that they're saying. That oftentimes is the emotion. These words are being channeled through that emotion. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they mean those words or they mean those things they've said or whatever. Maybe in that moment they meant it, but the moment passes and then now the words don't ring true. It was a fleeting feeling that, yes, may have been true at the time, or maybe at that time I really did want to kill that seagull. Hey, he's still honking at me. Yeah, go away. Walk away. Yeah, walk away. You hear him? I hope you hear him. Oh my God, he's doing laps around my car now. Okay, where was I? Yeah, I think I don't know how it works. I don't know what's connected, whatever. I had let's say an emotionally disconnected father that wasn't in tune with his own emotions. So when he would, flip that switch or break or, freak out, whatever, I was on edge. I was walking on eggshells, and you never knew when he was going to go. Same with my mother. So I was always on the back foot, always scared, always suppressing those things. And so I'm putting in, hopefully, I'm putting in the hard work that is going to pay dividends in the future and develop and integrate some of those qualities. That's what I'm learning. I think that's what, if I had any recommendation, your 20s are a wash. A lot of the great psychologists and philosophers, maybe it didn't apply back in the day. I think it applies now. I think your 20s as a man, they're just whatever. If you know what you want to do for your career, go do it. All right, go grind it out, but also enjoy yourself. Balance, with having fun, working hard, and playing hard. If you don't know, just try a bunch of shit. It really doesn't matter, because you can catch up as long as you're not scared. I know cost of living is rising, and a bunch of variables are changing all the time, but it's never too late. You can always meet somebody. You can always develop a relationship or friendships, or you can always go back to school, develop a career. You can always turn it around. So don't feel like, oh gosh, if I take risks or if I explore certain paths, I can't recover. No. And so I think you don't want to get to the end of this thing having regrets, wishing that you did things differently. And so, I'm at the beginning of my 30s, and what I predict them to be like, I think I'm gonna, let's say life starts up at a pinpoint, sperm meets egg, you're this tiny little thing, and you grow and you grow. Okay, now you're a child and you're growing, you're getting older, you're learning things, you're developing skills and abilities. Okay, now you're 20. You just finished high school, you're in some kind of a program, perhaps. You really have no idea what you want to do. Your hormones, your biology are running the show for the most part. So you make very rash decisions, very short term. You're kind of chasing dopamine or pleasure or whatever. But hopefully there's a stroke or a theme of something in your 20s that you can look at and go, okay, like I had some strengths here. I found what I'm good at. Maybe I found some qualities of mine that are positive or helpful or valuable to an organization or clients or customers or whatever. And it's just about learning that about yourself. I think that's what the 20s are about. So you travel a little bit, work a little bit. Yeah, go away. He's finally flying away. Oh, that was awful. Anyways, so yeah, if you're in your 20s, he's back again. He's taunting me. Yeah, he landed right next to me. He's back again. He just flew a loop. He walked a loop and then he flew a loop. He knows I'm getting amped up here. Yeah, don't make me get out. Anyway, let me try to stay focused here. The things I did right in my 20s, I focused on my health. That never went away. Yeah, I messed up a little bit in that I smoked a lot of weed, so I messed up my mental health a fair bit. I got addicted to nicotine. That was a costly and psychologically, but also financially addiction. I did eat pretty good food for the most part. I always did value that, whole foods, grown or raised. But like really prioritize your health. Like they always say, it's like the classic phrase, like you have a million problems until you have a health problem, and then you have one problem. This is the vehicle with which you interact with the world. This is probably where I am hypocritical, because if you think about it, the body is half of the equation and the mind is the other half of the equation. And I took care of my body in my 20s. I abused my mind quite a bit in my 20s. So that doesn't really make sense. The mind is equal parts the vehicle as is the physical body. So I think that's what I'm really looking forward to in my 30s, is tightening up the mental health. And that looks like an abundance of things. That's so many things. That's very complex. That could be its whole video in and of itself. But health, number one, physical and mental, if you can. Keep that kind of on the wraps. You look at some of the bigger potholes that people fall into. They eat like shit. They don't work out. They get real fat. They get real lazy. They get real tight muscularly, and with their tendons and ligaments, they lack flexibility. Also, they get addictions to substances, alcohol, nicotine, but also psychological addictions, gambling. There's some other bigger ones I'm missing here, but you know what I'm saying. So just to avoid those major pitfalls, focus on your health, because the rest can be, why you don't want to wake up at 30 and having invested a decade of your life in engineering or medicine or sales or whatever and go, oh, like this is not what I want to do at all. And I have no idea what I do want to do. I just did this because it paid the bills, So you do want to experiment a little bit, put yourself in some uncomfortable situations, make some mistakes so that you go, oh, well, that sucked. I don't want to do that, but this was pretty cool. Yeah, I actually enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I want to do some more of that. How can I get paid to do that? Those are the type of things. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. That's a big one. That's a big one. Oh boy, that's a big one. You don't know how poorly you're sleeping, how ineffective your conversations are, and how poorly you're performing athletically because you're dehydrated. I don't leave the house without a water bottle, man. I don't leave my bed without a water bottle. Come on. So anyways, and I think, not to babble on about 20s, I guess moving on, when I look at my 30s, it's like, okay, I was watching this video the other day about someone was making the analogy, someone was complaining about all these different things you have to juggle in life as a person, and this guy made a video making the analogy to a basketball player and how no one basketball player trains every aspect of their sport all day, every day. No. What you do is you have training blocks and you have areas of focus that you focus on, and then you put other things in maintenance mode. So you just kind of maintain this while you increase this. And after a while, this can go on maintenance mode, and then you increase this. Now that's on maintenance mode, and you increase this other one, and you see the general trend is upward. And you just got to pick what's important to you. Thankfully, in my 20s, I invested in my health to the point where it's not a big deal for me to go work out now. I'm strong. I know how to do it. I know how to work out effectively, how to gain strength, how to gain muscle, whatever. And I'm in great shape, and I'm 30, and so that's a good one. Psychologically, I messed my brain up a fair bit. I took a lot of drugs and was addicted to a lot of things, and that's a big focus of mine. Clearing that up, get some clarity in my 30s. I want to be effective. I want to be clear and concise, and I want to be a critical thinker. I want to be grounded and calm and, not necessarily wise. I'm not going to have a ton of wisdom in my, when I'm 30, but I just want to be able to have good conversations because, I'm a critical thinker, and I pick up on patterns, and my mind is not muddied with all these different chemicals, and I'm not distracted with all these meaningless surface level details about life. I'm focused. I'm aggressive. I'm creative. If my mind was a blade, I want it sharpened and honed and deadly and dangerous. That's what I'm going for, because I think for the last decade, my mind has been very dull. The blade of my mind was very dull, and I was ineffective as a person. And you know what? I accomplished some pretty cool things in my 20s. That certainly some things that I'm proud of. But it doesn't hold a candle to what my 30s will contain, because I'm really getting after it. I'm really developing myself and moving forward. So that's about it, I guess. Not really, but we're going on 25 minutes here, so I can't, you know what I mean? I can't let this run on for too long. But hopefully, you toss this on while you're doing some laundry or dishes or, doing some homework, or you're bored or whatever, driving to work, driving home, and we just vibed out. We just had a little convo. Hopefully this inspired some thoughts. It was thought-provoking, if you will. I'm finished reading my book right now. I'm going to go to the gym, do some squats. I have a job interview tomorrow morning. And, yeah, man, life is pretty good. It's not bad at this point. So just count those wins, control what you can control. Focus on the good things. Focus on what you can do, not what you can't. And have faith that it'll all work out. And if you made it this far, come on, bro. Appreciate you. I do that thing sometimes when my teeth move at a certain angle. They whistle. Shh, 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 shh. Appreciate. Anyways, not going to do it now, of course, because I'm doing it intentionally. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this all the way through. Appreciate you. And if you liked it, drop a like, drop a comment, let me know what you thought. I will get back to you, guaranteed, with my most thoughtful and compassionate response. Maybe funny, maybe witty. Who knows? Say something down there to find out. Anyways, stay tuned for the next one. And see you later. Let's go. Bye.